What do you do when you lose one of the toughest games of the season? You send an emotional leader to the mound, and Jake Peavy just might be the right man for the job, as he brings passion and fire to every start. Tonight, the Giants look for Peavy to be the stopper in Game 2 of the series, and it's coming up next.
We're coming to you from Atlanta, Georgia. We're at Turner Field as we get ready for Giants baseball, Game 2 of this 3-game series, Giants and Braves. Hi again, everybody. I'm Dwayne Kuiper. Alongside me is Mike Krukow. Well, the Giants realized they got to get over last night's tough loss, and tonight they'll send out Jake Peavy, very emotional guy, and he'll be taking on a very tough right-hander in Shelby Miller.
Well, it really should be a different ball game in that both pitchers are throwing the ball well right now, and I think that's what will define this game when we look back on it. However, the Giants, as tough as the loss was for them last night, walked out of here a very confident offense. They had 14 hits last night, including 4 home runs. So up and down the lineup, there's threat, there's confidence, and hopefully they can put it all together tonight and bring home the bacon.
Buster Posey, he's back behind the dish again after a long game last night. All right, we mentioned good matchup. Peavy for the Giants, Miller for the Braves. Stay tuned. We'll take you to our Comcast Sportsnet studios for an update right after this.
Hey, it's a new day here in Atlanta as we get ready for Giants baseball. Our game time weather is presented by the Santa Cruz Beach Boardwalk. It is a great time to get to the beach. The admission-free boardwalk is now open every day. 96 degrees here at the yard. You see the wind's very light. Humidity at 27%. It is partly cloudy. All right, let's take a quick rundown on the Giants lineup. The lineup that'll be facing very tough Shelby Miller. It'll be Aoki, Blanco, and Duffy. Buster Posey, the cleanup hitter. Then Pence, Belt, and Crawford. A couple of home runs last night. He's got a total of 18 on the season. Adrianza is going to hit 8th and PB 9th.
On the hill tonight for the Atlanta Braves will be the big right-hander Shelby Miller, 6'3", 195-pounder. He's in his third year at the big league level. This is what he has done in 21 starts. He's 5-8 with a 5.8 or 5.44 or 2.44 ERA, 111 strikeouts in 133 innings. How does he do it? Well, he's a power arm. You're going to see a good fastball that is quite healthy. It is a fastball that will go from low to high 90s depending on the grip. He has got 3 types of specialty pitch: a curveball, slider, and a changeup. He can strike out with all of them. And you say, well, how is this guy 5-8 with a 2.44 ERA? He has the lowest run support in the major leagues. They've been only getting 2.5 runs an average for him, which is not many. But he has a quality arm.
And the first pitch of the ball game is down low. So we get started right on time. Aoki checks his swing, 2 balls and no strikes. Nori Aoki on this trip, he's 4 for 12, starting out in Dallas. And a game last night. The 2-0 pitch, it's outside 3-0. Aoki's got some ownage on Miller. He's 8 for 21 with a home run. And now Miller needs to throw a strike, otherwise he's going to walk the leadoff hitter. Right down Peachtree, and it's 3 balls and 1 strike. That's Barrett behind home plate, Scott, Bassner, and Asanya from first to third. Hit high to right field. Markakis moving over. And this game is going to get started on a fly ball to right field.
Let's take a look at the defense playing behind Shelby Miller for the Braves. Starting in the outfield from left to right, it'll be Perez, Maben, and Markakis. Good arms on the corners. Real good arms. Castro and Garcia on the left side of the infield. Peterson and Johnson on the right side. With Freddie Freeman going on the disabled list today. A.J. Przinsky, he'll be in the squad, putting down the signs.
So here's Gregor Blanco. Blanco 1 for 10 on the trip. With Duffy to follow. Swinging a foul out of play. That's a healthy 93, and it's 1 ball and 1 strike.
The strike zone tonight that pitchers will be throwing to is Lance Barrett. And Barrett is a guy who's a low ball umpire by nature. He will call some strikes around the belts, but generally a pretty big zone, a good zone to pitch to.
Foul back. It's now 1-2.
The way the ballpark played last night was more carry than we've ever seen it in any time coming into Atlanta. We talked to Tim Hudson today before the game, and he confirmed it. He said he'd never seen a play like that. 8 home runs in last night's ball game, 4 by each team.
There's a base hit for Blanco.
And the reason I bring that up is it's going to play pretty close to the same way tonight. There's lots of carry in this ballpark. Batting practice was live. There just isn't the big heavy humidity that you're accustomed to seeing here in Atlanta. August can get pretty soggy, but they caught a 3-day window, and they're not getting the high humidity, so ball's carrying. It's an offensive yard tonight.
Here's Duffy hitting at 301, 5 for 19 on the trip. He's got 9 home runs. He's got 48 runs batted in, and he takes a pitch inside, 1-0. Buster Posey to follow. Just underway here in Hotlanta. And hot it is. Blanco with his lead and a quick toss to first. Blanco's got 7 steals. The win for the Braves last night. They're now 27-20 at home. It's on the road where they really struggled. Blanco slipped going back to the bag. And now he's going to call timeout and do a little work. That'll be eliminated this offseason too.
What, clean yourself off?
Yeah, you're not allowed to clean yourself up if you actually put dirt on your uniform. In tight, 2 balls and no strikes. Giants are 1-3 on the trip with, I'm not going to say a little luck, but if they played like they normally play, they could be very much 3-1. And there's a base hit, and Markakis is going to get challenged. He will not throw, and the Giants with runners at the corners.
Matt Duffy can make it look so easy to go to right field. You know, anytime you have a runner at first base in an open hole on that right side, it's just almost like he starts drooling for a pitch. And it doesn't make a difference if it's on the corner at the knees, off the plate 4 inches. He still can get to it. And he's got such nice bat control, he can find a hole. A lot of his hits have gone to the side of the right field.
So here's Posey. Buster's having a great trip. He's 7 for 19 on the trip with 2 home runs. He had a home run last night. Outside, 1-0. See where Buster Posey ranks in the National League in some of these offensive departments. At his numbers with runners in scoring position, he's second. With 2 outs with runners in scoring position, he's first. Outside again, it's 2-0.
6 in the top 10. And, you know, we don't even have to make mention of it anymore, but it always seems to stand out a little more when it's a catcher putting up those numbers.
Driven to left. Coming in is Perez. Blanco's going to tag, and it's 1-0 Giants. So that'll be a sacrifice flop. RBI number 74. And here's Pence.
Good situational at bat. And that's the type of a bat that'll chirk a team up in the dugout, first inning.
Pence 3 for 17 on the trip. Had a double down the right field line in the ball game last night. And a big swing and a miss at 94, and it's 0-1.
He was looking for it too. He was looking hard stuff, middle in, got it. A little mano-y-mano on that first pitch challenge.
Duffy goes, swing and a miss. Brzezinski's throw is going to be very late. Duffy with his 5th steal of the year. So Pence behind in the count. Lifetime Hunter Pence in 12 at bats against Shelby Miller. He's 4 for 12. He does have a home run. Got him in that lane inning. Giants on the board. Peavy coming out. 1-0 San Francisco. Lineup for the Atlanta Braves against Jake Peavy. Markakis in the leadoff spot, then Perez, and then A.J. Pierzynski. And he had a big night last night. He had 4 hits, followed by Johnson, Maben, and then Jace Peterson. Garcia had the game winner last night, Castro, and then Shelby Miller.
On the hill tonight for the Giants will be the 2007 National League Cy Young Award winner, 3-time All-Star Jake Peavy, making start number 8. 2-4 in the year with a 4.12 ERA. Really has been a different guy since coming off of the disabled list in those 5 starts. He has had a 2.84 ERA. 25 strikeouts against 10 walks and 39 1/3. And what you're going to see is a fastball that's got good sink. He will cut the fastball. He's got a curveball, slider, changeup. Changeup probably his best specialty pitch, but he will throw anything at any time. Against the Braves lifetime, 3-4 with a 3.79 ERA. He has never won a game here at Turner Field.
And here's Markakis, who takes a strike. Markakis 3 for 6 in the ball game last night. A .294 hitter. He can hit. His power numbers are down, but he can hit. And it's 0-2.
It's been kind of a puzzle for the Braves this year as to why he hasn't hit more home runs.
Yeah, I wonder if Camden Yards had something to do with that.
Well, Camden Yards, much better ballpark to hit in than Turner Field.
Duffy's going to give chase, but he's going to run out of room. That's 4 rows back. Caught by Dan Asanya.
Let's take a look at the defense for the Giants tonight. Starting in the outfield from left to right, it'll be Aoki, Blanco, and Pence, the best arm in right field. Crawford and Duffy on the left side. Adrianza and Belt on the right side. Buster Posey, he'll be in the squad, putting down the signs. Every year that Markakis was in Baltimore, that's 9 years, he had double-digit home run totals.
And Crawford's going to run this one down.
I thought that was going to drop.
Maybe 2. I'm going to put just a little exclamation point behind that. Here's Perez. And the first pitch runs inside. 1 ball and no strikes. Perez, one of the few people that didn't have a hit last night. He was 0 for 4. No balls in 1, or make it 1 ball and 1 strike. There were hits all over the place. There were home runs all over the place last night. Peavy runs it in tight at 91. 280 for Perez with A.J. Pierzynski on deck.
I mean, 8 home runs here. I mean, it's not quite like AT&T, but close.
2-2.
But I like the fact that the Giants hadn't had a game where they've hit 4 home runs in all year long. In this road trip, they've had 2. So they are confident with the bats right now. 14 hits last night, 4 homers, 8 runs scored.
Full count. Beautiful night. Payoff pitch, here it is. And this is over Crawford for a base hit. So once you point out that Perez didn't have a hit last night, it's only appropriate that he would get a hit right here.
The infield here in Atlanta a little bit slower than what the Giants saw in Texas. Brandon Crawford said he liked the infield in Texas. It was hard, but he said it was pretty true. And you can say the same thing about this one. It's pretty true infield, and not as fast as what they saw
in Arlington. And same thing for the gaps in the outfield. They're not as fast as what they saw in the previous city.
Remember, Pierzynski likes the first pitch. He caught Peavy a lot in Chicago. And he had 4 hits last night, including a game-tying home run in the 9th with 2 outs. So he's a hot hitter right now. And a strike on the inside corner.
If you're going to go inside, you've got to get it up a little bit. You cannot drop it down around the knees. Giants paid the ultimate price last night in the swing of the bat. It really was the biggest hit of the game for the Braves. It was a 2-out, 1 on, down by 2, 2-run homer that tied it up in the 9th. And it was down and in his happy zone.
High fastball, 1 ball and 1 strike.
Now, when Pierzynski's hot, he'll take the pitch away consistently in left field, and he's very good going that way with the outside location, which is why the Giants are trying to pitch him in, but up and in.
Oh. 1 and 2. They also know that if Pierzynski hits it on the ground and it's at one of the infielders and he doesn't run well at all, you got a shot to turn a double play. A good shot. Got him.
2 good sliders in this at bat. The one to get the second strike coming on around the plate, the backdoor side here. Little back foot slider. Drops down below the strike zone. Swings over it. See you later.
So here's Johnson. Johnson had a very impressive home run last night. Straightaway center field off of Hunter Strickland. And the runner goes. And Posey's throw. He got rid of it nicely, and they got him. Braves will take a look at it. They will ask the team not to leave the field. This is the way things are done now, so. So that's going to end the inning. So the Braves concede. We'll head to the second. Giants lead 1-0. Tuesday's a night game, Wednesday's a day game. So you can get your tickets to see the very exciting Astros at sfgiants.com/tickets. Here's Belt. He takes a strike. Belt 5 for 16 on the trip with 2 home runs. Bounces this one. Peterson. 1 out.
All right, time now for our Togo's big play. The Togo's way last night. Brandon Crawford's second career game with 2 home runs. A solo shot in the second, and then there's the solo shot in the second, and one almost identical to that, a second or a 4th inning 2-run shot. So both came off Mike Fultonevich, the starting pitcher for the Braves. Both opposite field. Runs his home run total up to 18. Have a year. That's our Togo's big play. The Togo's win.
3 for 11 lifetime against Miller. And he shoots one the other way. Foul. 266 average for Brandon Crawford. Japanese 0-2. See where his home runs have gone this year. Most of them have been to right field. 3 to the left of straightaway, or 4 to the left of straightaway center field. And he pops this one up, maybe playable for Johnson. 2 outs. And here's Adrianza. Adrianza 1 for 6 on this homestand, or check that on this road trip. The homestead's still a few days away, so I need to keep that in mind. Fouls it out of play. And a quick 2 strikes on foul balls to Ari Adrianza, hitting at 143. Up the middle. Castro. Side retired. 2 ground balls and a pop-up. And we'll head to the bottom of the second. 1-0 Giants.
July 29th of this year, Jake Peavy's last start against the Milwaukee Brewers. He got a no decision, but 6 innings, 4 hits allowed, no runs, no walks, 3 strikeouts, 91 pitches. A very solid effort as he continues to press since coming off the DL. 5 good starts. And that is our AT&T U-verse rewind.
Here's Chris Johnson, who was at the plate when Perez was thrown out. Just a bit high and wide, 1 ball and no strikes. And he rolls the next one foul. Cameron Maybin and then Jace Peterson. And the 1-1 delivery. Swinging a bouncing ball foul up against that short screen. They've added screens here that will protect about the first 4 rows by both on deck circles. See, they extended them out. Maybe more than 4, but. And another foul out of play.
One thing Peavy is doing a nice job with is pitching to the corners. Posey's putting that glove up and he's pounding it. I like those new seats. And they do something here that I think a lot of other organizations should think about doing. They put up a screen to protect those seats. And I think that's something that's going to gather more and more steam.
2 balls, 2 strikes. Lifted out to Hunter Pence. And in the sunlight, Hunter Pence makes the catch. 1 out for Cameron Maybin.
It's hard to believe that this ballpark has 1 more year left. I just can't get over it. This has been such a nice ballpark. And it's had nice history.
We've had such great, wonderful memories here.
Well, not always, including last night's ball game.
Inside to Cameron Maybin, hitting .269. It's a beautiful scoreboard. It's been that way for a long time here, where they have the best scoreboard in baseball. Foul back. You can see why Peavy started out Maybin with a fastball inside. That last pitch had to be 3 or 4 inches off the plate, and Maybin can extend out and get that pitch.
He's a long arm hitter, and they can do that to you. And long arm guys, you pitch them in.
On the ground, Adrianza smoothly makes the catch. Here's our Ford Wright choice. Good memories. The NLDS in 2002. Game 5. Runners on first and third. Rob Nen got Chipper Jones to ground into a 3-6 double play. Giants won the ball game 3-1, and they went on to St. Louis. Here's Jace Peterson, who went 3 for 5 last night. He's a hot hitter like Brzezinski, and he seems to enjoy facing the Giants. Two balls, no strikes. Peavy working at a good pace. Now he's just a little hacked off at himself.
Well, that's kind of the way he is. I mean, his intensity level is always the same when he crosses the line.
Well, we mentioned from time to time it's good to maybe have somebody yell at you. Well, what Peavy does is he yells at himself.
He does, and he'll yell at himself with such intensity that other guys will think they're yelling at him or at them.
Foul back, 2-2.
Umpires think that he's yelling at them, opposing hitters. But you know, that's the benefit of being around for as long as he's been around. Everybody in the league knows him. He's not going to change. That's who he is. And he was that way the first day he got to the big leagues.
Hit foul. Tell you what, he's not afraid to use his fastball tonight.
No, he is not. He's used both grips of the fastball, the 4-seam and the 2-seam. You know, the guy that brought him into the big leagues, his first manager, was Bruce Bochy. He was 19 years old. So you talk about a guy who's got some stories on Jake Peavy. That would be Bruce Bochy.
And it's stroked into right field. He threw him an off-speed pitch. And that's a 2-out single. And here's Garcia.
Giants just cannot figure out Peterson. Take a look at the pitches and how he will use them. 78% of the time you're going to see something hard between a fastball, a 2-seamer, and a cutter. And then the other 21%, is that what it is? 22% is going to be the changeup, the curveball, and the slider. Look what they hit off his curveball. 0.77. So that has become a pretty good pitch for him.
So here's Garcia, who takes a pitch wide, 1-0. The home run last night to send everybody home. Capped off a home run night here at the ballpark. 2 outs. That's a high strike, 1 ball and 1 strike. The first one we've seen from Lance Barrett.
And that's the thing about Barrett. He's primarily a low ball guy, but every once in a while, I mean, he will call a belt high strike. The bottom line is, if you're a hitter with 2 strikes, you better be protected that strike zone.
Suppose he had set the target on the inside part of the plate. With his lead at first is Peterson. Get on the ground to Crawford. Crawford to Adrianza, and that's going to end the inning. No runs, a hit, 1 left. Inning number 3 coming up, and Peavy's going to hit first. John, Dave, and myself, along with Jeffrey Leonard and other former Giants, as we set sail on Sunday, December 6th, with Celebrity Cruise Line. We'll spend 7 nights in the Caribbean, and we hope you Giants fans will enjoy us. Visit sfgiants.com/cruise. Peavy with a call strike, 1-0 Giants. He's got 3 hits on the year. He's 3 for 12.
So he's feeling it up there. Get a little confidence going.
Well, he's got some family here. Got a little PB posse going.
The PB posse. PB from Alabama. Not that long of a drive to come into Atlanta to watch the game.
PB hooks that one foul towards the PB posse. On the ground to second. PB bounces out 4-3.
Well, here's the Data Strong fan photo of the game, and you can tweet your strongest fan photo to hashtag CSNBA Data Strong Fan. And you just might see yourself in an upcoming broadcast brought to you by T-Mobile. And this is Christina Reeves from Turlock with a picture of Riley and Cameron. So, hey, nice shot.
Here's Aoki, who hit a fly ball to right to open up the ball game. All right, get it focused. Although you don't even have to focus cameras now these days, do you?
No.
A little low to Nori Aoki. On the ground softly to Peterson. 2 outs.
A flat cutter or a flat slider just got right up the bat of Aoki.
So here's Blanco. Blanco singled with 1 out in the first. Shows bunt, takes a strike.
More corner command. That's the thing about Shelby Miller. I mean, he's a power arm that can go average 95 and just go outside, inside, corner, corner all night long, and then elevate you. He really pitches well with the fastball. This really was one of the surprise trades in the offseason when the Braves sent Jason Hayward, their highly touted right fielder, to St. Louis, and Shelby Miller was given up in the trade. Nobody thought that the Cardinals would ever give up Shelby Miller.
Well, John Hart wasn't afraid to pull the trigger this offseason, that's for sure.
Restocked a depleted farm system and really set them up to where they're going to be a team of the future. Done a nice job.
Low to Blanco. 2 balls, 2 strikes. The next pitch for Miller will be pitch number 39. And it's 3-2. There's Duffy, who singled in the first. On the ground to Johnson, and Johnson will go to the bag. 3 ground balls, and that'll end the inning. Daniel Castro's going to lead things off. provides wire-to-wire reporting of the Giants this season with breaking news, videos, special features, and the most important, more. Only on csnbayarea.com. One nothing Giants. Here's Daniel Castro. Castro 1 for 5 in the game last night. And on the season, he's 3 for 15. Swing and a miss. Nothing in 2. Shelby Miller on deck.
Nice 2-pitch sequence right there from Peavy. Keeping that ball down nicely.
1 and 2. Hit on the ground towards the hole and a base hit. So Peavy had Castro right where he wanted him, and he singles to left.
No, that wasn't a hanger either. I mean, that was a good pitch. Castro in a defensive mode in a 1-2 count. I mean, he just goes down there and protects the zone. Barrels it, finds a hole.
So here's Miller. Miller's 2 for 37 on the year. And he's going to bunt this one. And Peavy will wait for Adrianza to get there. So here's Markakis. Markakis hit a soft line drive that Crawford went behind Duffy and made a nice backhanded catch. And a breaking ball for a strike, and it's 0-1. Aoki fairly shallow in left. Blanco a little left to straightaway center field. Pence off the line in right. Hit into right center field. Pence, can he get there? He makes, and then it pops out of his glove. He gets up and he hits the cutoff man Crawford. The throw home is not in time, and this game is tied. Once Pence hit the ground, the ball came loose.
Well, I didn't think he had a chance to even touch it, let alone catch it. He winds up making a high backhander. And as he goes down, the glove hits the ground, and then the ball pops out. In the end, it was an RBI for Markakis. He was not able to go to second. I don't know why. But he'll have to settle for a single, but A for effort. And he almost made the play of the road trip.
So here's Yuri Perez.
They said for Markakis gives him an 11-game streak.
See, Markakis, I mean, he's not even following the ball. He quit, and there's the reason why he's not standing at second base. So that's a break for the Giants. They keep that force in order, and when Peavy's on the mound.
He must have not seen the ball come out. Huh?
No. He's just thinking, oh, gee, it's a big league hang with him. And that's until Terry Pendleton, the first base coach, lost his mind.
Inside corner strike.
But with the ability of Peavy to put the ball on the ground, that's a big play. There's Terry Pendleton, former National League Most Valuable Player. Great guy.
popped out of play. It's 0-2. Good pitch. Got him. Second strikeout.
Must have been guessing something else because he got locked up on a fastball. 2-strike count. And some guys will guess. I mean, that's not that big of a news flash, but you have to be a bit more protective with 2 strikes.
Brzezinski struck out swinging in the first. And he shoots this one into the hole and a base hit.
He has got the magic wand going. That's 5 hits now in this series for Brzezinski.
I guarantee you, when Peavy saw that ball hit on the ground, he thought it was an out.
It does lock you up because you don't always look as to where the defense aligns. Just off the crack of the bat, you know the angle of the ball. That's going to where the shortstop is. And all of a sudden you look back and there's no shortstop there. It does lock you up a bit.
So here's Chris Johnson, who hit a fly ball to right in the second. Johnson takes a strike right down the pipe, and it's 0-1. Swing and a miss. Good breaking ball. 0-2.
And a good place for it, too. I mean, that's the advantage of the 0-1 count right there. Throw that first slider and put that thing down below the strike zone. Let him chase. Now you throw it down below the zone again and you just make it go wider. Aim a little bit farther outside. Maybe he'll keep chasing. You can hear Peavy. It's a little scream at the end of his release. And he is definitely maxing out. He's a max out guy. Not like a Kane. Kane cruises at a speed just below. Madison Bumgarner cruises at a speed just below maximum. But not Peavy. He airs it out.
Strickland threw 3 straight fastballs. This was the third one.
And it went right over the center field wall. Just a location mistake. He got a little too macho with the fastball. I mean,
Threw 2 by him.
And that's what happens. I mean, you get a little greedy, thinking if you can do it twice, you can do it 3 times. But Johnson made a nice adjustment, and it cost him.
That's foul.
Almost a thing. And how foul was it? Yeah, about 2 feet. Just enough to make your heart flutter if you're standing out there on the mound. It wouldn't have cost you 2 runs. You don't have a lot of speed with Brzezinski at first.
Johnson steps out.
He ran through a series of signs, and Peavy couldn't find the one he wanted, so Posey says, all right, let's try it again. Let's start over.
So it's 2-2.
That's the pitch you're mad at. If you're out there and you have a 1-2 count, I mean, that's a pretty easy take. You don't see that swung at very often. You'd like to have made it a little more inviting. Now he's got another shot here to go out of the strike zone. He didn't have to give in to him. He's got an open base with 2 outs and nobody on third. And that's a better pitch.
Two and 2 to Chris Johnson. Good fight going on right now.
Now, I think back to the 1-1 pitch. When Posey wanted to throw that fastball up and in, he knows he's got inside set up. But on that 1-1 pitch, Peavy pulled that ball in the outside corner. He missed badly with it. And that's the one thing about the inside pitch. If you have a guy set up for it, and you're going to throw it this deep in the count, especially a guy with power, you better get it there. Because if you miss out over the plate, that's when you can really hurt you. But inside is definitely set up.
And it was there again, and he, on a check swing, fouled it back.
Now, that was a nice job of getting the ball inside where you wanted it, on the hands. And Johnson really got lucky that he caught a piece.
So this is the 9th pitch coming up.
Now, he could go back in again. He could go back foot sinker. Or he could go outside with the slider. Does not to throw a strike.
Full count.
And that was the back foot sinker. Good pitch. Take a little bit of a breather. Control the rhythm. If Peavy wants, he knows what he wants to throw. I mean, that 2-2 pitch set up this next pitch automatically in his mind. He'll probably go back off the plate away, down. And Johnson's a hitter who will chase. He will chase down.
Got him. Long battle won by Peavy. The Braves tie it up. 4th inning coming up.
Is brought to you by Amici's East Coast Pizzeria, When you want the best pizza in town, Amici's delivers.
Much different from last night's game. It's a 1-1 game as we go to the fourth. Here's Duffy. Duffy had a base hit in the first inning. Here he takes a strike. Duffy, Posey, Pence. And a bit high. 1 ball and 1 strike. Dodgers are in Philadelphia tonight. Phillies have just scored. They have an early 1-0 lead. Foul back. 1-2.
They have stayed on that side of the plate with hard stuff.
Two and 2. Giants will play a night game tomorrow night and a night game on Thursday. And then 3-day games in Chicago. 2-2 pitch. Here it is to Duffy. Got him.
Oh, that's some paint at 96. Just shaving that outside corner of the knees. Set a wide target, head in the count. Brzezinski doesn't even move the glove. Bang.
So here's Buster Posey. Sacrifice fly in the first. His 74th run batted in. And watches a breaking ball for a called strike. Buster 2 hits and 12 at bats in his career against Shelby Miller. Hunter Pence to follow.
Been pretty much fastball slider. Is always seen here early in this ball game for Miller.
2-2 on a challenge fastball.
He has changed the grips on the fastball. He's 4-seamed. He's 2-seamed. But he really hasn't thrown the curveball or the changeup.
And Buster hung in there. A 96.
96, but not with great location. He got away with one there.
Nobody on, 1 out. Buster hits a high fly ball to right. Markakis with room. 2 outs.
Take another look at the play that Hunter Pitts almost came up with. The high backhander. He had it in the pocket. And as he got down on the ground, the ball popped up out of his glove, and he's still trying to catch it.
And he got up quick enough to make it a close play at home. And struck out looking in the first. Fouls this one just below us.
You know, you see a lot of guys start with an open stance like Pitts does, but usually they close up with that front step. I mean, they'll step almost towards the second baseman if you're a right-handed hitter, but not Pitts. I mean, he starts open and he plants open.
On the ground sharply to Peterson, and that's going to end the inning. Cameron Maybin is going to lead things off. Robbie Tomlinson's first big league hit last night. Wife, father-in-law, loving it. And Tomlinson digging it too. You know what? A win might have made it a little better, but not that much better for those two.
Yeah, that was one of the highlights of the night, no doubt.
So here's Cameron Maybin. Maybin bounced out to second. And a swing and a foul back. In the dirt. A run on 2 hits for the Giants, a run on 5 hits for the Braves. Giants scored first, Braves have scored last. Swing and a miss.
Good hard slider. And even when he misses, he's missing down. And he's established as a low ball guy. I mean, if you're going to take your at bats off PB, you're going to look for something down around the knees. I mean, I guess you'll look for mistakes up, but you know you're going to get stuff around the knees.
He's been trying to run that pitch inside. He does there. It misses, and maybe it was intended to miss. It's 2-2.
A curveball. Haven't seen a whole lot of those. This is a get it in situation. Do not want to walk speed to start an inning.
You do not. Got him.
Nice win on the challenge. Strikeout 4 for Peavy. Right now it's time for a Geico quote, and it comes from Kelby Tomlinson's wife, Tiffany, on watching his major league debut last night. She goes, "I'm still in disbelief. It was all the emotion all at once. It was so exciting. I just wanted to throw up." I'm just so proud of him. Yep. Well said. That's our Geico quote. A moment she'll never forget.
No, that's for sure.
Nor will he.
And that's pulled on the ground, foul.
Yep. Braves give up the balls. I think that should be a league rule.
Were they saving money in Arlington?
Well, I think they were making money in Arlington. They were selling those in the Rangers gift shop.
It's 1-2.
Not a bad idea, but I just think it's the fans' ball. Once it gets hit, it's not in play. It's going to come out of the game.
Ever since the '94 strike, that was it, or lockout. Things changed.
And a lot of things changed for the good. And that was one of them. I mean, remember when we were playing, I know when I was in Chicago, if you flipped the ball in the stands, you got fined $5. And there was a guy in the stands that would keep track of it. Get your paycheck every 2 weeks, and there you go. $130 taken out of your paycheck. Doesn't sound like a big deal, but when you're making $20,000 a year, that's a big deal.
Well, it's a big deal because it's also the dumbest thing we ever heard.
We thought so.
2-2. Giants fans picked this up, pinned it, got it. Okay, gave it to. Did you give it to Mom?
Eventually.
So Peavy's gone 3-2 now to Maben and now Jace Peterson.
Well, he won the last 3-2 challenge with a fastball. But Peterson is hot.
And he got the challenge and he struck him out swinging. That's 5 strikeouts, 3 in a row in 4 of the last 5.
And this is all 5 of his strikeouts have been swinging miss strike threes. And he had to shake off a few signs to get to that pitch. Posey wanted to throw a fastball away.
Here's Garcia.
Slider's a good pitch right now.
Ain't gonna miss. Nothing in 2.
Backed it up again. Just brought it out a little bit wider. Let Garcia chase. Garcia did what he was supposed to do. He chased. Just keep going wider.
Threw him a high fastball, whether he wanted to or not.
Well, he didn't want to throw the high fastball. He wanted to throw that fastball, that paralysis fastball, just off the plate about 4 inches, but knee high. And the key is knee high.
Still grunting and groaning out there. Jake Peavy. It's 1-2.
Giants fans all over.
Got him. Strikes out the side. We will head to the 5th inning. It's 1-1.
4 games. That's right. August 13th through the 16th, and Saturday the 15th. First 40,000 fans receive a 2-for-1 flight voucher from Virgin America. And on the 16th, the first 20,000 fans will receive a Juan Marichal replica statue courtesy of Coca-Cola. Get your tickets at sfgiants.com/tickets.
Here's Belt. 1-1 game. Going 2.
Both starters in really good rhythms right now. And this has become a good old-fashioned duel.
Belt fouls it out of play as he got an 0-2 pitch to hit.
Miller has retired 11 Giants in a row. And when that happens, I mean, in the dugout, and it gets talked about openly, get this guy in the stretch. Break that rhythm up any way you can.
Next pitch will be 59. I'd like to see it more like 79.
Pitch count not an issue for Miller.
Belt fouls it out of play.
Good job of getting 96 inside. In tight up the bat head.
Two and 2 to Belt.
When he's hot, he'll lay off that pitch down below the strike zone. Sees it very well. And it's not that easy against a power arm like Miller to do that.
Bounces it to second. Peterson knocks it down. 1 out. And here's Crawford. Crawford popped out in the second inning. Line drive left field, coming in and diving and making the catch is Perez. 2 outs.
A good solid opposite field approach off the bat of Crawford. This one taken away. Everything about this is the big leagues. I mean, backdoor breaking ball, go with the location. Line drive, a slice, and then a tremendous defensive play by Yuri Perez.
So here's Adrianza, who bounced out in the second inning.
There has not been a walk in this game. Very quick pace, and that improves the defense.
And a base hit. No, coming in, diving, it kicks away from Perez. And Perez can't find it, and Adrianza is going to stop at second base.
Yeah, he thought he caught the ball.
So we've had a couple of hitters that didn't react really to the ball being flipped out of the glove.
He's coming up going, I got it. Everything's good. Lo and behold, there was nothing in the glove. He did not feel it.
I got it. You're right. Hey, yeah. I'm going to be on This Week in Baseball with Mel Allen.
Yeah. How you like me now? Huh? That's great. Baseball will humble you.
Here's Peavy. Peavy, big chopper to short for Castro. Castro's throw is in time, and that's going to end the inning. And it's not often where a major leaguer will think, I got it. Let's Take it in. Yeah. What am I talking about?
Authority of the San Francisco Giants. It may not be reproduced or retransmitted in any form, and the accounts and descriptions of this game may not be disseminated without the express written consent of San Francisco Baseball Associates, LLC.
It's a 1-1 ball game as we head to the home half of the fifth inning, where Daniel Castro is going to lead things off. This was the spot where the Braves were in when they scored their only run. Castro opened up the third with a base hit past Duffy. And the pitch is high and foul down the left field line and out of play.
Another swing off the front foot from Daniel Castro. Remember his last at bat in 1-2 count, he took a pretty good breaking ball down to the knees and on his front foot hit a ground ball into left field for a hit.
Oh, 0-1 to Daniel Castro, and he bounces this one foul.
Not by much. I got to believe that kid right there was working the ball, dude.
I think they're relatives, because if you don't hand it to the person to the left of that guy, then something's wrong.
Something is seriously wrong.
Come on.
Either that or she's got 9 balls already.
Young man. Adrianza to his right.
All right, one more look at the attempt. And when he got back to his dugout, you don't think his teammates are going to let that slide now, do you? I had it. I swear I had it.
Here's Miller.
Oh, yeah, you can laugh about it now.
Miller's pretty good swing. He's 2 for 37, however.
Yeah, that swing had some ability behind it.
High fastball, 0-2. One ball and 2 strikes. 8 hits in the game, 3 for the Giants, 5 for the Braves. PB deals pitch number 80, and it's 2-2. Hit into center field, hit well. Blanco back. Now Blanco's there, and he makes the catch. Gone last night.
Oh, off the back wall. Third time through the order struggles, and this is something that has plagued Jake Peavy. See, the first time through, opponents hit 196. Second time through, hit 217. The third time through, however, there's a large spike. They start hitting 452. And the slugging percentage is also off the charts. So this is going to be a test for him as he starts through the lineup a third time.
Markakis is 1 for 2. He singled on a ball in and out of the glove of Hunter Pence. The Dodger game tonight is the return of Jimmy Rollins to Philadelphia.
I would imagine he got a pretty nice ovation for his first at bat.
There's a strike.
16 years he was a Philly, and he was a great Philly.
Yeah, he was one of those few guys that they didn't boo him.
No. How could you?
Good pitch, 1-2. Little grunt from Peavy. In tight, 2 balls, 2 strikes. On deck is Yuri Perez. Peavy in agreement now with Posey.
Ooh. Backdoor cutter. I mean, he missed by about a half a baseball if he missed at all. Set the target on the outside corner and let this thing come back to the glove. Good pitch.
3-2.
Could have gone either way.
Out of play. Tap to Duffy, and Duffy to Belt will end the inning. So nice inning for Peavy, and now for the Giants, they'll have the top of the order coming up. MLB.com at bat, the #1 app for live baseball. You get replays, you get radio broadcasts, you get a lot. Get MLB.at for your smartphone or tablet. Okie, Blanco, Duffy, and maybe more facing Shelby Miller here in the 6th. So Narioki had a little ownage on Miller, but not tonight. He's 0 for 2. And he takes wide, 1 ball and no strikes. There's a strike on the inside corner to even the count.
Pitch count really not an issue for Miller. It is becoming an issue with Jake Peavy.
Yes, it is. 1-2.
Giants have not had a lot of base running opportunities with Miller.
Out of play.
2-out double from Adrianza last inning broke up the consecutive out streak that Miller was ringing up, but they've yet to get the leadoff hitter on against him. Done a good job of keeping it clean, and that first out always an important one to get.
This one hit into the gap. Is it going to hang up for Markakis? It does. 1 out. And that'll bring up Blanco. So here's Blanco. Blanco with a 1-out single in the first. He scored the only Giants run in this game. And he takes low. 1 ball and no strikes. Not a lot of solid contact against Miller. Foul back. Giants knew that they were going to be facing a tough pitcher tonight. He's under 500, but his ERA is terrific. Like PV, he hasn't walked anybody. And Blanco bluffs a bunt. Brzezinski may have taken that pitch away from Miller by getting out of the crouch too soon.
Miller not happy. This is what his line was in May when the Giants saw Miller in San Francisco. Gave up 1 run. Loss. Big league hang with him. As we mentioned at the start of the broadcast, Miller gets the worst run support in the National League. Braves get him 2.5 runs.
Blanco swinging at ball 4. It's 3-2.
Now you're in the driver's seat in the 3-1 count, thinking fastball, and you get it. Easy to go out of the strike zone and chase it.
Out of play. Duffy to follow. We are in the 6th. And a bullet down the right field line, foul. Blanco turned on 94. He can do that every once in a while. Two. And the walk. Good at bat.
It was a great at bat. Second time tonight he's been on base against Miller, and it gets Miller in the stretch, and that is the first walk of the ball game.
Yes, he got some pitches out of Shelby Miller. So here's Duffy. Duffy singled to right field in the first. It set Blanco to third. In the fourth, he struck out looking. I think it's safe to say that the later the game goes, the better at bats Duffy has.
Oh, I absolutely agree, especially if they're off the same guy. Now they've been trying to pitch him in, and that's where he'll guess and look in, and that's the pitch he tries to pull. As many times as we see him go to right field, if they're going to pitch him one way, he'll make the adjustment.
Line drive, base hit. So it's the same two at it again. And here's Buster Posey.
Get it in breaking ball, and he made him pay for it.
So did it on the first pitch.
Posey, I don't think he tries to be on every swing is in one piece where that front side is coming out. And there's not a step and drag with his lower body and his upper body. Everything is in sync with that back leg, with the weight on the inside part of that back foot, driving with a slightly bent knee. One piece.
Outside and high. So we're watching Shelby Miller now in the stretch. He faced Peavy in the stretch in the fifth. He had to do it a couple of times in the first. And he just walked Blanco. So that put Duffy at the plate, and now Buster Posey. 2-0.
So this becomes a very interesting pitch. Does not really have an open base at third. I mean, he's got to pitch to Posey here. You do not want to walk a runner over to third base with less than 2 outs. So he's got to get in that strike zone, and Posey knows it.
Three and 0.
And yes, he will. Green light. We know that.
So right now, you're right. Miller a little different out of the stretch. And the walk.
So indeed he does. Second walk of the night.
So he can go back to the windup now, right?
Well, he can, but with less than 2 outs, I mean, I don't think there aren't many guys that do it. But he does have the option to do it if he wants to. If you see a guy really struggling with his mechanics out of the stretch, I mean, it's wise to do it. But he probably will stay in the stretch, and he will.
It's Blanco, Duffy, and Posey aboard, with Pence now at the plate. Pence offers at the first pitch, and he hits it off the end of the bat foul.
He's kind of waved at that. He's not expecting this first pitch slider.
No balls and 1 strike. On the ground.
He forgot there was 1 out.
Unbelievable. Unbelievable.
That is a gift.
I mean, that's likely a double play because it was hit so hard.
That is.
So coming in to score is Blanco. It'll be an RBI for Pence.
I mean, he's thinking, all right, inning over, let's go have a drink of water.
Done it. If he'd have flipped the ball back to the mound, that would have really made it nice.
Well, Duffy probably would have scored. But a total head spasm there from Chris Johnson, and the Giants take the lead.
So now Belt can really make it hurt. And Belt fouls it out of play. So 2 walks in the inning and a base hit by Duffy. Duffy's at third, Posey's at second. Belt has bounced out to Peterson at second twice. 0-2.
It's reaching back there. The Langer in that fastball. It is embarrassing.
In the inning. Giants on the board. We'll head to the bottom of the 6th. It's 2-1 San Francisco.
Is brought to you by Heffernan Insurance Brokers. Insurance and financial services for you and your business. Visit hefins.com. And by Xfinity, home of the most live sports.
Giants with a 2-1 lead here in the bottom of the 6th. It'll be Perez, Krasinski, and then Chris Johnson. Peavy's in that 90, I believe. He's in that 90 pitch range.
We talked about the pitch count being an issue with Peavy. Indeed it is. 88 pitches as he starts his inning. But you know, when you're on the mound, you don't think about pitch count. That's for your pitching coach and your manager to think about. You don't think about that. You think about getting people outs. And he's got heart of the lineup coming up this inning, so he's got his hands full. Just go till you can't go anymore, and then give the ball to the bullpen.
And a bunt fouled. That is pitch number 89. If you're keeping track at home. And if you are, then you're wondering why.
Giants bullpen, no action.
Two.
Slider's just really been a great pitch for him tonight, and he's taken speed off with it too. I mean, it hasn't been just a brain dead pitch. I mean, it's had some finesse to it, but he really has been very, very consistent to the target. And when he's missed down. He hasn't hung that thing one time.
One and two. 2-2.
Peavy wanted more on that 1-2 pitch than what he got. Not happy with the wide location. Just an easy take. And you don't want to give up easy takes when you have an 0-2 or a 1-2 advantage as a pitcher.
Two to 3-2. Well, he's done really well on 3-2 pitches. He needs to do it again here in the 6th. Got him.
Beautiful. Absolute perfection on the 3-2 count with an 89-mile-an-hour two-seam fastball. Perez sent packing for the second time tonight by way of the strikeout. And that's just absolutely to the glove. And you could not run it up there and place it in a better location than that.
So here's Brzezinski, who rolled a single into left field in the 3rd inning. He's 1 for 2. Peavy struck him out in the 1st. In shallow right field is Adrianza. Everybody else straight away in the outfield.
George Contos just now starting to get the kinks out.
Two 2-0 to Brzezinski. Three 3-0. He hasn't walked anybody.
Until now. Just didn't look like he was comfortable. And he went right into the nibble mode.
So
Brzezinski, I mean, he's been hot. He's got 5 hits in this series.
So Peavy out of the stretch for the first time since the 3rd inning. Low and away, 1 ball and no strikes. Swing and a miss. It's the pitch Peavy threw Johnson to strike him out after a long at bat in the 3rd inning. That last pitch, by the way, was pitch number 100. Swing and a miss, 1-2. Brzezinski with a short lead at first. Got him.
Oh, and he was still looking for another slider, the 2-strike count. 8 strikeouts on the night for Peavy. And 2 of them have been called strike 3s in this inning. And that's just fastball perfection. I mean, he's nailed that location down to his advantage twice in this inning. Beautiful pitches.
Here's Maben. Cameron Maben has bounced out and struck out. It's low.
One thing about the pitch count, I mean, you know, once you get up around 100, you're probably going to get taken out of the ball game. So there really isn't any reason for Peavy to try and save anything. If he gets another base runner on, I mean, this is going to probably be the last hitter he faces, no matter what. So he can let it hang.
There's a strike. 1 ball and 1 strike. Phillies and Dodgers are tied 1-1. That game is in the 6th inning, just like it is here. So that pace about the same as the pace of this game.
Well, every pitch, there's been so much on every pitch because of the score.
Out of play, 1-2.
Giants playing Maven pretty straight up in the outfield. And you can say the same thing for the way they defend him in the infield. It just tells you that he hits the ball from line to line. And there is no overplay. Just a few steps out of straight center towards the right center field gap from Blanco in center. Other than that, straight up.
Hit well to right, but Pence is there, and that's going to end the inning. Peavy walks off the mound here in the 6th with the lead. It's 2-1 Giants. Of course, your local Toyota dealer. Well, we're going to take a look at the two pitchers. Peavy and Shelby Miller have both gone 6 innings. And right now, Miller has allowed 2 earned runs. Peavy just 1. 8 strikeouts for Peavy, 3 strikeouts for Miller. Both have pitched extremely well, as Crawford is going to lead things off.
It has been a duel indeed.
Crawford has popped out and then had a hit taken away from him by the diving Perez and left, and the first pitch is down low.
I mean, the difference in this ball game was a head spasm by first baseman Chris Johnson of the Braves.
Yeah, we think that he would have been able to turn a double play or at least come home.
Yeah.
Crawford with a big swing and a miss.
But he thought there were 2 outs instead of 1. And that mistake is why there's a difference in the score. The Giants are on top.
Crawford rolls it foul, 1-2. Miller rubs up the baseball. Adrianza watching. So far, no sign that Peavy's going to get taken out of the game. Impossible to tell if anybody's warming up. Out of play. When they built this ballpark, they wanted to keep it a secret. Is the visiting team was going to warm anybody up.
Well, there's the bullpen down there, which is why we can't see anything. And there is no activity. But remember, George Cantos had been throwing. And it's early in the inning. It's not going to take him much on a night like tonight to get loose again. Ooh. Breaking ball just missed. Did he swing? No, says Dan Asagna, the third base umpire.
High to right field. When it comes down, Markakis is going to be there.
Dave Righetti putting on the handshake, and that means the night is over for Mr. Peavy. And boy, did he throw the ball well tonight. 5 hits allowed, 1 earned run in 6 innings, no walks. He struck out 8, 6 by swing and miss strike threes. And he continues to impress since coming off the disabled list.
That's
nice
a bum
night.
hug right there.
Those can hurt.
It was a very light hug. Adrianza with a base hit in the 5th inning. Two balls and 1 strike.
And there's Cantos. You gotta know how many pitches it takes you to get loose, and then you don't waste any. I mean, it's so key in being able to last a whole season as a bullpenner. Guys have left their careers down there in the bullpen throwing too much.
Adrianza on the ground on 1 hop. 2 outs. Pagan was in the on-deck circle. Now it's going to be Maxwell. And this is simply thinking that now you got a guy that can run into one.
Marksberry, the left-hander, one of 3 in the bullpen for the Braves. Starting to get stretched. This just might be the last hitter no matter what for Shelby Miller.
Now Miller is due to hit 4th in the 7th inning. Two and 0. So he went 3 balls to Adrianza. So I'm going to green light him. And he walked him. Maybe that's it.
Man, they got the lefty loose down there. It's Freddie Gonzalez making a decision here. I think that if you're Shelby Miller, there's no way you want to come out of this ball game. Your season has been kind of a hard luck year, and that your teammates have not been able to score a lot of runs for you. His only chance to get a win is for him to stay in this inning. So Freddie Gonzalez giving him another hitter. I like that.
Aoki is 0 for 3. Drives one to right. Back is Markakis, and Markakis reaches up, and he makes the catch, and that's going to end the inning. Bottom of the 7th coming up, 2-1 Giants. Up and repair experts.
George Cantos making his 50th appearance of the year tonight. 2-1 with a 1.59 ERA. A little bit unusual when you see Cantos come into a game where it's the start of an inning. Usually he's coming in trying to put out a fire. Not tonight. Tonight he has the 7th inning. Giants bullpen last night had to pitch a lot. He had to go 6+ innings. So tonight, Bochy will manage his bullpen a little bit differently, I would imagine. The guys will be allowed to go whole innings, at least here in the 7th. So Cantos on.
Jace Peterson is 1 for 2, a single and a strikeout. And a strike in its own one. Outside.
Peterson last night, 3 hits and a walk, scored a couple runs, so a hit tonight. So he has been a guy the Giants have not really been able to figure out so far in this series.
How about in this season?
In the season.
Two balls and a strike with Adonis Garcia to follow. 2-2.
Good fastball there on that inside corner right at the knees. Peterson was looking fastball. He wasn't looking middle in for it.
It on the ground. Belt's got it. Belt will flip it to Cantos covering. Nice play. 1 out. The gentleman right there is Jake Peavy's dad.
And right here, the guy with the M on his hat right there, that's Jake Peavy's oldest son. So
that is not his father sitting next to that young man, but that is Jake Peavy's son with the Giants jersey on.
He was in the clubhouse when we got there today.
I know that Jake's dad is here. There's a call strike.
Yeah, a lot of the family from the Peavy clan are here.
Think that guy was surprised to know that Jake was his kid?
Well, he claimed him tonight the way that Peavy performed. Everybody wants to be the father of Jake Peavy. He was fantastic.
Swinging a foul just to our right. And it's 0-2. Daniel Castro is on deck. Another pop-up out of play. Santos rubbing up a new baseball. Good weather to pitch in.
Oh yeah, this is great weather. You know what's great about this weather is you get good perspiration on your arm, which gives you a good feeling in your hand. You get a good grip on the baseball. Sweat and rosin. That's a great combination.
Hey, it's good weather to hit in too, so I almost can say that it's perfect weather.
Baseball weather. But it's just right. Not too cool, not too hot. And that's a big thing this time of year down this neck of the woods.
Line to left, so that'll be a base hit. I'll tell you what, covers that outside pitch.
Yeah, the numbers in the swing just do not match up. I mean, coming into this game, Garcia, a 237 hitter, and it just doesn't match up with what we've seen. I mean, he was the guy last night that hit the ball that ended the ball game, and it was not a hanger. It was a 3-run fastball knee-high away. Here, I mean, that's good control of the bat head. That's not a hanging slider, and Contos has a tough slider to hit. It's his best pitch.
Castro's 1 for 2.
Braves without one of their best players in this series. Really, and you could say that without 2 of their best players, with Freddie Freeman going down last night because of an oblique injury. He was DL today. Andrelton Simmons, their shortstop, has had a hand injury. Not bad enough to put him on a DL, but he has been out the first 2 games of this series.
And here's Castro, who takes the pitch up and in. He's playing in place of Simmons.
Aftel getting ready.
Pedro Siriaco is in the on-deck circle. Out of play down the right field line. 1 ball and 1 strike. Giants with a 2-1 lead here in the 7th. Foul back. 1-2.
Good fastball. Great location. Castro did not miss that pitch by much. He was on it. Every swing you've seen him take, I mean, he's been out on that front foot. Front foot hitters usually pretty good low ball hitters.
Pulls this one on the ground, and it's foul. So we'll reset and do it again. Duffy will flip it into the seats. Two Giants fans had a chance to catch it. Neither of them did. I'm embarrassed. These two guys right here, left guy Scott Geraltz, the other guy is Buddy.
Yep. They'll think about that for about 11 years. It's those tall boys, man.
That's right.
They'll make you miss a sure thing.
Oh, maybe another chance. Nope. That's our camera guy down there who knocked it down. Tim, big paws, Tim. Yeah.
He's got some big paws.
I thought he had a glove on.
Both hands. You have hands that big. Well, you got to make a play, Tim. Serious. That just tells us you were a football player.
Lineman?
Absolutely. Not a skill guy.
This is going to be tough. Duffy's got no play.
Well, he did the smart thing. He ate it. You can see how far back Duffy's playing, and Castro's got good speed, and he doesn't have much backswing, so he's going to get out of that batter's box quickly. So now things have just gotten interesting. 2 1-out singles.
So here's Siriaco. No balls and 1 strike.
And Siriaco coming right off the bench swinging.
Pretty good numbers pinch hitting this year.
4 hits, 2 runs, 2 earned, 3 walks.
And you can tell how he's done it.
7 innings, 4
I'd like to know how many of those hits came early in the count.
Tell that he gets after it quickly.
Miller threw 105 pitches, 39 balls, 66 strikes, total of 105.
Oh, 2.
Very quickly. So the other thing too about Cantos, I mean, he likes to, usually a guy who's a little more patient at the plate, he'll try and get ahead with a fastball or a cutter and save that slider for a 2-strike surprise. But against an aggressive hitter like Siriaco, with a reputation for getting after it, I mean, he's come out of bed throwing strikeout pitches, and twice he's had him chase. And those strikeout pitches have been sliders.
That time he bit maybe a little too much of the plate. It stays at 0-2.
That was a cutter. But he definitely established up in the eye of Siriaco, sort of cleaning the palate of the eye. Now he can go back down in the dirt with that hard slider and hope he chases again.
Right center field. It's going to fall. Coming in to score is Garcia, and this game is tied. A lot of room out in the outfield in this ballpark. And that one falls in, and Bruce Bochy's coming out. When it's time for a change, think Speedy Oil Change and Auto Service, your oil change tune-up and repair experts.
Garros will host an exclusive Q&A session in both Spanish and English, and special guests will include Roberto Kelly, Hensley Bulens, Santiago Casilla, Tito Fuentes, and the guest of honor, Giants Hall of Famer Juan Marichal. Your Los Gamers special ticket will also include a Juan Marichal t-shirt and a ticket to the Giants Nats game. Go to sfgiants.com/special events. Jeremy Affeldt, the new pitcher now for the Giants, and it's the 38th time that we've seen Affeldt in a game this year. 0-2 with a 5.84 ERA. And for Affeldt, this is a situation that you want to bring in a guy that can get a ground ball, and he can do that with a sinker that is low 90s at velocity. He's got a big curveball and a split.
Markakis is 1 for 3. And against Affeldt, lifetime 0 for 2. Big breaking ball is wide, 1-0.
Slight buckle there from Markakis.
Slight buckle from Affeldt. The 1-0 pitch to Markakis. On the ground, foul.
Affeldt does wear a brace on that right knee. A camouflage brace, I might add. Very stylish.
Foul down the left field line. It's 1-2. The 1-2 pitch, here it is. Tapped slowly. That's one, and a run comes in. So Markakis is going to get an RBI. And this is the Braves version of the ground attack.
I Adrianza could have played it any differently. I mean, perhaps he could have gotten the lead out at second. I think he had an eye on possibly getting a double play, but Ciriaco did not help him out at first. So they have a play in front of you, take that. So Affeldt does get the ground ball. And Boch is going to come out and ask about whether or not Ciriaco went out of the baseline. He will have a discussion with second base umpire Kobe Basner, to no avail. But he also gave his crew inside a chance to look at the replay.
Well, he went quite a ways around Adrianza. That's always kind of an iffy call anyway. So here's Perez with Ciriaco at second base. And the pitch is wide, 1-0. One ball and no strikes. A pitch from Affeldt to even the count. Swing and a miss on a pitch in the dirt, 1-2.
Good curveball, and he can go back down there again, too. One thing they know about Perez is he will chase. He's got 2 strikeouts on the night. Here, the big curveball, just drop it. You're aiming for home plate, but if you could drop it in the dirt between the home plate and the catcher, man, that's good. As big as that curveball is, throw it again.
Got him. And that'll end the inning. Well, the Giants now trail as we head to the 8th. It's 3-2.
NLDS recap, and let's remember game 1. Tim Lincecum, brilliant, a 1-0 complete. Game 2 had shutout. He struck out 14. Rick Ankiel, splash home run at the top of the 11th game. Braves second game. The Giants rallied for 2 runs in the 9th with the help of a Brooke Conrad error. And then game 4, it was Cody Ross who went 2 for 3 with a home run in a 2 RBI game. It was the deciding game. Giants would win that 5-game series and go on to face the Phillies in the NLCS. It was Bobby Cox's last game, and who will forget the Giants in their celebration stopping to turn towards the Braves dugout and tip the cap to the Hall of Fame manager, Bobby Cox. That is our McDonald's True Stories.
Well, it's time for a change. Think Speedy Oil Change and Auto Service, your oil change tune-up and repair experts.
Ross Detweiler, the new pitcher now for the Braves. 0-5 with a 6.57 ERA, 69 hits allowed, 23 walks, and 49 1/3. He has had a rough year, but his stuff is good. Very good. Low to mid 90s with a fastball, slider, and a changeup.
Blanco takes a strike. He's scored both Giants runs. He's singled and walked. There's a breaking ball in the inside corner.
And with all the right-handers coming up behind Blanco, you would have to think that Braves have another right-hander getting ready in their bullpen. And there it is, David Ardsma.
Base hit left center field. This is going to roll for a while. And if it gets by the outfield, Blanco may have 3. And now he puts on the brakes. Nice piece of hitting by Gregor Blanco.
They set an outside target, and this is not a hanger either. He goes down and beats a knee-high outside location. And the way you do it is go the opposite way. And they sort of played him a little towards the line, exposed the gap, and he finds it. Not even the speed of Perez can run it down to avoid extra bases. It was just a matter of whether it was going to be 2 or 3 bases that he was going to get, and he'll have to settle for a leadoff double. And indeed, that was a nice at bat.
So we're going to get a new pitcher. It's going to be Ardsma. It's 3-2 Atlanta. KMBR. Mike will talk about the game with Murph and Beck on KMBR 680, the sports leader.
New pitcher now for the Braves will be David Ardsma. And this is what he has done in 22 games. He has no record, a 3.68 ERA, but over a strikeout an inning. And just 16 hits allowed in 22. How does he do it, you might ask? The Giants first saw this guy. He was part of their system, and he was a hard thrower. But no longer is he a hard thrower. You'll see 90-ish fastballs with a hard slider and a split.
Facing Duffy. And Duffy takes high and tight, with Buster Posey on deck.
Ardsma will pitch for the strikeout.
Down the right field line, a fair ball. What's new, Matt Duffy? Here comes Blanco. Kicking it around as the right fielder, and Duffy puts on the brakes.
Well, he got the stop sign from Roberto Kelly. So he exchanges places with Gregor Blanco, and you're right. What's new? Duffy going the opposite way. I mean, he is as good as there is on this Giants team as at going away. I mean, that includes Buster Posey. So Detweiler, as you saw, is credited with that run. And here come the Giants.
Posey's going to be walked intentionally. So two guys that pitched really well tonight, Miller and Peavy, get no decisions.
That man right there had everything to do with ensuring a no decision for Shelby Miller. Leadoff double from Blanco, but another double from Duffy. And the Giants are setting up to go big.
So here's Hunter Pence. Pence is 0 for 3, does have an RBI. Nobody out. And runners at first and second. We're in the 8th. And a belt-high fastball for a strike, and it's 0-1. Gregor Blanco has scored all 3 runs today for the Giants. All 3. In the dirt. Nice block. 1 ball and 1 strike. So Pence waiting on Ardsma. Swinging a foul high and into the upper deck down the right field line.
So Ardsma coming after Pence with a couple strikes with the fastball in this 3-pitch sequence.
Yeah, Hunter sees so many sliders away that you think maybe he might have been looking for one.
He was late on a 91-mile-an-hour fastball. That's not like him to be late on fastballs.
Hit into the gap. And well. And gone. A 3-run home run for Hunter Pence. And just like that, this game has turned. Got out in a hurry. That got out so fast there was no high deep going.
No, there was not. And that's going to end it for Ardsma, who heads back to the Braves dugout.
Well, that didn't turn out well for that kid.
Well, I mean, he tried to come, 3 pitches into the at bat. He'd thrown 2 fastballs at him. One he took, one he was late on. And here in a 1-2 count, he comes at him with 1 fastball too many, and he leaves it middled in at the belt. They had set the target away. And watch Brzezinski's reaction.
Like he's watching TV.
This is just an absolute bullet. Just clears the wall. That's just a loud line drive.
Giants have scored 4 times here in the 8th. They haven't made an out.
see what he has done in the minor leagues in 33 games. 3-1 with a 2.74. I mean, he has earned the right to be here. Here's a guy that they want to get a good look at this year and see if he is an arm of the future. For Marksberry, you're going to see a fastball that'll go low to mid 90s. He's got a curveball and a changeup, kind of a 3-pitch guy. But nobody's really hitting him. You see a lot of righties, but he hasn't seen enough righties to where it really has affected his overall batting average that he's had against the league. And if he's going to be a left-hander up here, he's going to face more lefties than righties.
So Marksberry, the first hitter he's going to face is Belt. An 0-2 home run. How about that? And that's 4 RBIs tonight for Hunter Pence.
The no decision for Shelby Miller tonight ties a Braves franchise record for consecutive appearances without a win. That's 14.
How does that happen with that guy's stuff?
They don't get any runs.
It's like you in 1985.
It happens to everybody if you pitch long enough. You're going to have a year. Matt Cain certainly has had a lot of those years where he didn't get run support. In fact, getting caned became a phrase that every Giants fan knows what we're talking about.
Belt rolls one to the second baseman, Peterson. So Belt is retired.
But it helps when you have a guy like that step up with 2 men on and rifle one out to a place where you can't defend it.
So here's Crawford. Crawford is 0 for 3. Big swing and a miss.
You know, it's amazing. Hunter Pence, this is the 40th game that he has played this year. A lot of DL time because of a broken bone in his hand. He was injured during spring training and it really set him back. So this is his 40th game. He's got 34 RBIs.
Yes, he does.
And it just seems like every one that he's had has meant something.
His second home run on the road trip. Crawford takes high.
And do you think that feels pretty good to him? They walk Posey to get to him.
Here's Bochy after the really disappointing loss on Sunday. When as Crawford strikes out, when Pence hit into the double play to end the game. Bochy leaned back. I was sitting in the seat behind him, and he said, "You think we should release Hunter?"
No, I don't think so. That is the first strikeout in the career of Marksberry, and they saved the baseball. Flipped it out of the game to the authenticator.
Adrianza takes low. It's about the time Pence's ball left. Michael Franco hit a grand slam for the Phillies against the Dodgers. And the Phillies lead that game 5-1 in the 7th. Adrianza with a base hit into center field. He's got 2 solid hits in this game. And that'll bring to the plate. Is this Affeld?
Yes, it is.
Look at him talking to himself.
He's talking to the bat.
He's telling Krasinski, do not hang one.
Well, this can be entertaining.
Think the skipper instructed him not to swing?
Oh, it doesn't matter. He'll still swing.
Here's tonight's attendance: 18,411, 18411.
I have no idea, and you can explain to me why Marksberry's throwing to first.
He's a rookie.
TV time?
I don't think they've throwovers called by Freddie Gonzalez.
Affelt swing and a drive foul down the right field line with the bat. I don't know what to do. So you think they'll give me the bat back?
Here comes another bat. I doubt if this one's got his name on it.
Yeah, this is where you hide your bats from pitchers.
Well, after that swing right there, he may put the take sign on.
You look for your gamer and you say, hey, anybody see my gamer? Yeah, Affelt's using it right now.
Put strike fear in the heart of a hitter. And no, I have no idea why Marksberry's thrown over to first base.
I think he had to wing another one into the seats. Oh, 0-2. A.J. Przinsky's leading things off in the bottom of this inning. And he got him, and that'll end the inning. Good spirited effort by Affelt. The good news, the Giants score 4 times. 3 times on this home run. A seed. And it's bye-bye, baby. 6-3 Giants. For Esurance Giants postgame live. You're going to get highlights, reaction, analysis. It's all coming up from the fellas right after the game. So here's Affelt to face A.J. Przinsky. Przinsky's 1 for 2. And a strike, and it's 0-1. Przinsky's 1 for 6 in his career against Affelt. And a breaking ball evens the count.
You would think that those numbers would be a bit better because he's such a good low ball hitter. A lot of what Affelt features is going to wind up down around the knees or lower.
2 balls and 1 strike. Yeah, now Affel's got to come in. There's the new owner of the Jeremy Affel bat.
There are not many of those. I mean, that's a collector's
That
edition
is a
right
keeper
there.
right there. Hit on the ground. Adrianza kicks it. We mention it from time to time how odd it can be sometimes when you're playing that deep in the outfield. And also, you got to worry about the cut of the grass.
Well, it's going to get Affel out of the game.
When it's time for a change, think Speedy Oil Change and Auto Service, your oil change tune-up and repair experts. We'll be back. By Comcast Business Class tonight at 8 p.m. Guy Harriman's going to be the host. You're going to see Kawakami, Ratto, and Pavlovich. And if you're going to drive cross country, which one of those 3 guys would you go with?
Kawakami.
Really?
Oh, yeah.
Not me.
You're going with Ratto.
Absolutely. Because I could tick Ratto off and he wouldn't talk to me the entire way across country.
See, Kawakami would know every fine dining establishment across the country, whereas Ratto, it would be dive.
Well, that's all right, too.
Greasy spoon.
I'm fine with that.
I'm just saying it would be healthier to go with Kawakami.
Alex is too young for us. There's a pitch to Chris Johnson. Alex would get us in trouble. No balls and 1 strike. Yeah. I would have no problems going cross country with Tim Kawakami. But Ratto would be my guy.
Well, you would argue for 3,000 miles.
No, he wouldn't.
You would.
Swinging and a miss. Nothing in 2. If I had a problem with Ray, I'd just call Tolbert and say, how do I handle this guy? And then I know what Tom would say. He'd say, oh, Ray, whatever. That would be it.
Case of Pliny's. But all 3 of those guys in the car would be fun.
Oh. And Johnson goes down swinging. That's a pretty good slider tonight.
Well, and great location with the slider. I mean, he's one of those rare guys that has better command with the slider than he does the fastball, and his fastball command is outstanding. And he is not afraid to throw that slider in a 3-0 count with the bases loaded, a tie game in the 14th inning in the World Series, Game 7.
Or throw it 14 times to Jay Bruce in the biggest game of the year, like he did in 2012. I'm still sick about that. Maybe a big chopper. Crawford is going to get the out there, and then Adrianza really didn't have to throw it, but he does, and they get what they needed to get, and that's one out. Crawford's as good as you're going to get at throwing across his body.
Well, he also knew he had time. He had Brzezinski at first base, who doesn't have any speed, so he knew he was going to be able to get up despite the fact that it was a little bit of a weird type of ground ball. And Adrianza making a throw that he shouldn't have with the speed of Maben. There really wasn't much there to get.
Here's Peterson, who's 1 for 3. And a breaking ball is inside. 1 ball and no strikes. So good speed at first in Maben. 2-0. Duffy is right at the edge of the grass at third. And a late call strike.
And that was a gift right there. I think Lance Barrett has really been very good to them.
Yeah, I thought Asanya was good last night.
I thought so too. There has been very little barking from either dugouts. But that last strike was definitely a pitcher strike.
Two and two.
Throw that slider anytime, any person, anywhere. You're right. That 10 pitch at bat he had with Jay Bruce. Jay Bruce, a left-handed hitter who was, I mean, he put on a great at bat.
Oh my goodness.
Great at bat.
This is the greatest pop-up catch by Xavier Nady in the history of baseball. Get on the ground. Adrianza smothers it, throws it, side retired. You make an error, you'll get tested very soon after. 9th inning coming up.
To the 8th inning, 3-3 ball game, 2 on. Hunter Pence does this. 2-strike count, and he rifles one into the bleachers in left center. It is home run number 7, RBIs 32, 3 and 4. That is the difference in his game, and he is our player of the game. Brought to you by Honda.
When it's time for a change, think Speedy. Oil change and auto service. Your oil change tune-up and repair experts.
So Ryan Kelly, coming into a ball game, just got called up today. There were 2 transactions with the Braves today. Kelly being one of them, added to the pitching staff. This is our first time to see him. You saw it. You see the numbers rather. The 3 games this year, earlier this season, ERA of 6.75, 4 hits and 2 2/3 with 1 walk. So we're seeing him for the first time. We don't have a lot of scout report on the guy. At least I don't.
Well, we're about to. Nori Aoki is going to stand in.
So let's learn Mr. Kelly together.
Well, he's got around a 93-mile-an-hour fastball.
All right, so you're looking at mid-90s fastball.
Aoki, did that hit him?
No, man, caught a piece of
That smile on the skipper?
a rare smile in a game that he needs so badly. Yes, it is.
Aoki's having the oddest at bat of the year so far.
Well, he's not picking it up. I mean, that's a hard cutter and a big cutter. It's almost a slider, but at 90 miles per hour, I mean, it's got to be a cut fastball. It's a high 3/4 release. So we've seen a fastball. We've seen 2 of those big sliders are hard cutters. I mean, it's a high-speed velocity breaking ball.
Driven to right. Down the line. It is out of here. He got around that one. And that's his 3rd of the year.
You said it was one of the oddest at-bats of the year, and certainly one we'll remember.
Well, it ends in an odd way. He's not going to hit this guy.
I think this was the weird swing that kind of set up the home run swing.
He pulled the boiler muscle swinging at it.
And here he just lays a little cutter just above the belt, not quite the big break that you saw in the inside corner. And with 2 strikes on him, Aoki leaves earth. And a lot of body in that swing.
So here's Blanco. If Pence was your player of the game, this guy's second. He scored 3 times in this game. You might pick him on the wrap. What do you think?
That could happen.
Outside for a ball, 2-0.
And Hector Sanchez empties his seed bag on his head.
Strike to Blanco. That's the first hit of the night for Aoki. He's now got a 1-for-5 night. Down low. And the walk. So Blanco now on base 4 times. And that's after a rough night for Blanco last night. So he's made a nice bounce back. So here's Duffy.
Plus, you know, it means just a little more for Blanco to be able to do it here in Atlanta, the city he got to the big leagues with.
Duffy's had 3 hits in the game tonight. I saw a story on Twitter from Jorge Ortiz. I'm not sure if it's going to be in the USA Today tomorrow or if it was something that he wrote for maybe their website, but he made a strong case that this is your rookie of the year right here.
You'll get no arguments from us. I mean, this guy missed 5 weeks of the season basically, just getting sporadic playing time, and all of a sudden he locked into the everyday job, and he's just been fantastic. Climbed right up the ladder of the lineup to the number 3 spot, as a rookie.
He might hit number 3 for 10 years in this uniform.
You're right. I mean, and you watch the way he goes about taking his at-bats, the adjustments he makes within a game. He can hit.
And I don't think Jorge Ortiz is biased. The fact that he lives in the Bay Area, I think he's a smart baseball guy. Cued foul, 1 ball and 1 strike. Buster Posey on deck. Duffy, a big deep breath as he digs in, facing Ryan Kelly.
Talking with Giants scout Lee Elder, who's with the club, and we see a lot, and we respect his opinion a lot, greatly. And he says, you know what's great about the big league level? It exposes the ball player. And by that he means
to right field. Markakis coming in, and he can't get it. Duffy's got his 4th hit. Have a night, kid.
Have a year.
Making Jorge Ortiz look good. And here's Buster Posey.
And Lee Elder was simply saying that the best compliment that a scout can give a player is to say he's a ball player. He has a high IQ baseball-wise, and that's what the big league level will do to a guy with a high IQ in baseball. It will expose him, and it'll show you his true intelligence, his ability to think at this level, to play at this speed, to adjust against big league pitching. I mean, these are the things that Duffy does so well.
Posey takes a strike. Buster tonight, a sacrifice fly, a fly ball out, and then a walk, and then an intentional walk. So he's got an RBI and he scored a run. Swing, and a miss, another good 2.
And when you ask old scouts about guys and you get that answer, it's the end of the discussion. So what kind of player is Joe Panik? He's a ball player. What kind of player is Matt Duffy? He's a ball player. And that they can't compliment him any higher than that.
Posey on the ground towards the hole and a base hit. Blanco scores. Buster with a C-nice single. And the Giants now lead 8-3.
What kind of guy's Buster Posey? Ball player.
Well, if you get 9 ball players in the lineup, you know what? You can take your chances.
You're absolutely right. And they don't have to be the fastest guys. They don't have to be the hardest throwers. But if they understand situation, can anticipate situation, execute in situation. You know, you see a ball player on the base paths. You see a ball player in his first step defensively. What kind of jump he gets. What kind of route he takes the ball. What he does with the ball in situations when he gets the ball. Is he surprised defensively?
Here's Pence, who takes a strike. Giants now with 11 hits. For the longest time, they only had 3.
14 hits last night. Second night they put 8 on the board.
Pence taps this one near the bag at second, and that's going to be a double play. On the play, Duffy moves to third. And that'll bring up Belt.
So the scout report on Ryan Kelly, a lot of cutters. Low to mid 90s fastball, a lot of cutters. Haven't really seen anything of a third speed in the form of a changeup or a curveball. And there's your scout report.
Belt foul. I knew it'd only take you 6 pitches.
That's about it.
Bob Lillis say hitting ground balls, 5 ground balls. Tell you if the guy could play infield.
Yep. And he'd say it again and again, and he was right.
Good swing by Belt, 0-2.
He said that in 1986 when he saw Robbie Thompson in camp. He said, that kid can play. 5 ground balls.
I wonder if he explained one to his left, one to his right. Maybe he had him charge one.
Well, he'd hit different spins. He'd top spin one, he'd back spin one, left, right.
Look at it. It's 1-2. Well, he was right about one thing. He could play.
He could play.
You know what he was?
He was a ball player.
1-2.
And those are the guys that stay in the game to coach and manage and pass the game on.
Ooh, 2-2.
There were a lot of ball players on that 86 team. Will Clark, Chili Davis, Jeff Leonard, Matt Williams.
Belt out of play. Petit is getting loose in the Giants bullpen.
Bob Brindley.
Two balls, 2 strikes. And Belt down the right field line. It's going to be foul.
Get out of my kitchen.
Get out of there. Two guys with big flies tonight. They hang out together.
Candy Maldonado was on that team. Good ball player. Went on to have a nice career.
2-2. 3-2. One from Texas, one from Japan. Home run hitters hanging out together.
Just buds.
Got him, and that'll end the inning. Giants on the board twice. One by way of the home run. Norioki hits his 3rd of the year. And when it leaves the park, back in the Bay Area, 3:30 will be the pregame live, and then the Giants and the Braves will tee it off right at the top of the hour at 4 o'clock, and you'll see it right here on Comcast Sportsnet Bay Area. This is the authentic home of the Giants, and it'll be Madison Bumgarner on the hill. Eight 3 Giants. When it's time for a change, think Speedy Oil Change and Auto Service, your oil change tune-up and repair experts.
But right now on the hill for the Giants will be Yusmeiro Petit, coming in for the 30th time this year through 2 clean innings in last night's extra inning ball game. 37 strikeouts against 12 walks and 57 and a third. You're going to see high 80s, short arm delivery, a ball that gets on you quick, but with good corner consistency. 2 types of grip, little slider and a changeup.
And Garcia is going to lead things off, and he takes a strike. Castro. And then the pitcher spot. Swing and a miss, 0-2.
And there's that slider.
Got him.
Good morning, good afternoon, and go grab some pine, Meat.
I could do that last night.
Yeah, that's a good
Oh,
point.
well, I'm over it. Here's Castro.
Yeah, I'm two
I'm
out,
over it.
2 outs away
If
from
I
being
keep
over.
telling myself I'm over it. Castro has 2 hits tonight. He's 2 for 3. It's great when you think you are.
Well,
Swinging a bouncing ball up the middle and a base hit.
I'm not over 80s 1987. You know, if you really want to know.
No, there's a few I'm not over. Tell you what, though, 10, 14, or 10, 12, and 14 has helped a lot.
Yeah, that's definitely been very therapeutic.
Line for Kelly, 1 inning, 3 hits, including a home run, 2 runs, 2 earned, 1 walk, 1 strikeout.
Joey Turtislavich, the new hitter for the Braves, and he just got activated today when they put Freddie Freeman on the disabled list with an oblique problem.
Whatever happened to, like, Joey Smith? I mean,
Turtislavich,
this is
come
one
on.
right here that I could get fired.
No. You were going to nail it.
1 ball and 1 strike to Joey.
There you go.
And it's down low. 2 balls and 1 strike.
Turdoslavich.
Turdoslavich, yeah.
There you
That's
go.
what you said.
Well, I was
No,
close.
that's what you said, Turdoslavich. 2 and 1 to Joey.
It's a rough nickname.
2 and 2. Well, if you're going good, I'm sure his name is Joey. If he's going bad, I'm sure it's something else.
Turdoslavich from Sarasota, Florida. 6th-round pick in 2010.
Emergency swing, it's 2 and 2.
And you can put that in the scout report. World-class emergency swing with the University of Miami.
Well, he's here, so he can hit.
Plus, he's from Long Beach State, so he and Matt Duffy a lot in common. And he can hit. Lifetime hitter in minor leagues at 280. That's credibility.
It is. Aoki moving in. He'll make the catch. 2 outs, and here's Nick Markakis.
Turdoslavich, Markakis. If you're the guy that has to put the names on the back of the uniforms here in Atlanta, you're in trouble.
You better double check, that's for sure.
Przynski, Lavarnway, Siriaco, McKirahan, Detweiler, Fultonevich, Vizcaino. Good luck.
Marksberry. Down to second goes Castro. Markakis has a hit and 4 at bats. And he takes a strike. It's 0-2. Giants 8, Braves 3. Giants have scored 6 runs in the last 2 innings. Nice play, Buster Posey. 1-2. And the pitch on the ground. Belt to Petit, and that's the ball game. So the Giants do indeed bounce back, and they do it tonight. They actually do it the hard way. It's hard to score late and win on the road, and that's what they did tonight.
Well, they did, and I'm sure this is going to do a little bit to help them get the taste out of their mouth of last night's disappointing loss. But 11 hit night, 8 more runs on the board, and you didn't expect to do that in a Shelby Miller start. But the Giants, with their arms, with their glove, and with the bats tonight, a complete game. Good victory.
So game 106 on the season goes to the Giants, and the final score, the Giants 8 and the Braves 3.